Hi, Gregg Perry, the historic preservationist. Today's episode, we're going to talk about collecting china. This could be Limoges. This is Royal Albert we're looking at here. And it's really economical to have something that's vintage today that's not well over the top. I mean, we're not talking about 18th century nor 19th century. This stuff is in the early 60s, so it's quite affordable. And there's not much good on Facebook Marketplace, but a bunch of shit, basically. But this stuff can be had, and usually had in small quantities, twos of saucers, twos of plates, something like that. So other than that, look at your local estate sales. Estate sales, circumferencing maybe 20, 30 miles. And the stuff really goes for cheap. Some of these sets about 30 years ago, a set of maybe 50 to 80 pieces, could go in the $1,500 range new. So we're talking about Royal Albert here. So these are all hand painted. That's the cool thing about these. Totally hand painted. All the rim decorations, the top of the handles, and a couple lines around the base. They're all gold leaf. So what they're doing is they're actually dipping in a gold powder, in a braided powder, putting it on all by hand with 3-4 bristles, these fine lines, and they're just putting this possibly on a turnstile, zipping it around, and you get number one, you get the second line on there. Then they're doing the paint, they're painting the motifs on, and then clear coating it with a glaze and firing it. So a lot of quality. So if you want to have a nice china set, a nice tea set, very, very economical today, because not too many people are into it, but I'm sure there's a few connoisseurs out there, or developing connoisseurs. So on the bottom, you'll find what we're looking for here. And it will tell you on the Royal Albert and Royal Dalton and a few others, it'll actually tell you the date. So in collecting thus this far, this is probably 9 different purchases to get here. Probably 9 of 27, probably another 18 to 20 purchases to increase the size of the collection for not a lot of money. You probably have sitting here about $250 in objects. So. But we're talking about tea today, basically. So in tea, the tiered dumbwaiter, the 2-tiered is one of the more difficult items to find. They do have a 3-tiered dumbwaiter, to put cookies, croissants, or something like that. Biscotti on there for your table, for your tea. Obviously, you can get a coffee pot, teapot, and these are more difficult things to find. These are your stands for your tea bag. So if you're not doing a traditional tea with loose tea, you're going to use this for your tea bag. And so they're nice and decorative, but they've been difficult to find. You find 1 here, 2 there, 3 there to put the collection together. And on the back it says, so I'm looking for 1961 Royal Albert, and it's old country roses. So that's this collection here. And there's a multitude of these collections. Oh my God, there could be 75, 100 different collections of these types of motifs. So building the collection, sterling silver tea strainer, polish it up. That's the only problem, in a couple of months it's going to go dark. $6. So sterling silver. And 8 teaspoons, wonderful. Tea strainers, the reproductions though, with a sterling silver screen, put across your teacup and strain loose tea. So if you guys are doing loose tea, it's fine. But primarily these started in the 18th century. 2 locations. They started in Derby, which is spelled Derby, D-E-R-B-Y in England. They call it Derby. You walk through that town, even today, there's probably 20 manufacturers, including Royal Albert. It's absolutely amazing. You just meander through. You take the factory tours. You watch the people creating these pots on turnstiles, decoration, glazing, the whole 9 yards. You can have custom ones made if you really want to put down some cash. But obviously today, if you had to buy this set, it's going to be 4, 5, 6 times what it is for someone like myself to assemble this from the outside. So. And the other place location is Limoges, France, down in central France, about 100 miles south of Paris. Same affair. I was down there for about a week years ago. You just walk down the streets, and there they have about 45 to 50 existing China manufacturers. So it's really quaint. It's a fun time, great vacation. Throw the beach away and go to a real vacation and learn something. Okay, so let's take a look at this insignia on the bottom here, just so everybody understands. We'll pull a plate out. And one has to be careful in collecting, because they would have taken this variety, genre of detail of the roses, and they would have changed it in 62, 3, 4, 5, so forth and so on. So you won't have a perfect match. So you need to look, and you need to request if somebody's selling this on eBay or however you're purchasing it, or if you're really looking for it. So 1961 Old Country Roses. In this case, it's neither here nor there. So anyway, so that kind of finishes us up today. But what I want to tell you is stop by, and if you want to listen to some historic podcasts, we're nearing 1,000 right now on Spotify and Apple Podcast, The Historic Preservationist, and also check us out on our 2 YouTube channels, The Historic Preservationist and Historic Preservationist. Gregg Perry signing off. Thanks all for listening.